Do Asians vote? I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, beginning over here, last juggling show of the day. Join these incredibly enthusiastic people for the big show. Everybody applaud, make some noise, everybody, yay! Thank you, both of you. Ladies and gentlemen.
My father always votes. So our household has always been a very voting family.
My two daughters get their ballots and everything, but I don't think they vote.
I really don't vote.
No, I don't vote.
I will probably not vote for this election.
I haven't really voted.
I don't know anyone in my family that regularly votes.
Everybody I know doesn't really vote.
When I did vote, it was because it was like at my parents' behest. They were like, okay, you gotta vote for this, this, and this, and this. I'm like, okay.
I'll vote for American Idol all day long, but I won't vote for a president.
The ironic thing is most of what we know about who participates in politics is typically it's a resource-based explanation, which means that the more money you make, the higher education, the more likely it is you're going to vote. So you would expect, actually, that Asian Americans would vote at higher rates than other immigrant groups. Asian Americans, according to the 2000 census, the median family income was $63,251 relative to blacks, which is $34,369, and to Latinos, which is $34,000. It's literally half. And if you look at non-Latino whites, $59,000. So actually, it's higher than non-Latino whites.
You see third world countries, they have fucking nothing over there. They have nothing and they're thankful to have nothing. It's like, oh, I love nothing.
Some people are going to kill me for saying this, but I don't think that my one vote is going to make that difference unless I go out and publicly support that other one. I think I can influence thousands of votes. You know what I'm saying?
You know, if everybody else has that same feeling, then eventually you're going to have, you know, thousands, millions of people not wanting to vote.
I'm in the position to influence thousands of voters. Probably not after this film, because they know I don't vote.
Yeah, like I think if I knew more about various like issues and I knew more about the candidates and things like that, I would probably be more inclined to vote.
I don't want to vote based off of headlines that I've read or a couple, stories that I've seen on TV or something like that. I don't want to be what I feel is like 80% of the U.S. population in that regard.
I'm not educated enough to vote, so I don't think it's fair that I vote.
I played soccer. I didn't cheerlead, I swear. I didn't even play. I rode the bench. I was like the soccer fluffer. I don't know. It takes a very secure person, I think, to vote, to stance loudly what their vote is, I think. Asian females don't vote, especially because they're taught not to voice an opinion a lot of times.
I mean, if you're going to put a bumper sticker on your car proclaiming your political views, you got to feel like pretty strongly about that, right? What if I change my mind later? Then frick, I got to take off this bumper sticker, right? Like, or even like with a bumper sticker, like it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It might be easier just to preserve the thinking of that bumper sticker as opposed to actually taking that bumper sticker off and changing it. Am I right?
Asians are always more cautious, probably more so than, Americans tend to speak up more.
I think having a strong opinion on any political issue is a way to stand out. Yeah, I think that's the wrong way to do politics.
Asian Americans' highest form of political participation is actually campaign funding and donations. And obviously that's tied to income and finances, but you could also think of it as a very non-vocal way of participating politically. But it's a very effective way.
In the Philippines, in a lot of these Asian countries, the vote is not kosher. There's a lot of dark stuff happening. I mean, there are people running the country that shouldn't be running the country. They're political prisoners. My uncle, who I never met, was a political prisoner during the Marcos eras in the Philippines, and later died of elephantitis, which he probably got when he was stuck in a mud hut. A lot of people died. A lot of people passed away. So as Asian Americans come over, they're like, well, is our government just as corrupt as the government that was back in my, my country? There's not a lot of good feelings about government.
The Asians here mostly are Pakistanis, Afghanis, Indian and Bengalis, and also from the Middle East. Few of them, they don't vote for several reasons. The countries that they came from mostly are dictatorship countries In some of them, there was no vote at all. In some of them, just a symbolic vote. So they lost trust in the political system. The other reason, some of them, they think that since we are living in a non-Muslim society, there is no Islamic law, so to vote for what? So this is their understanding.
From a religious point of view, they don't want to vote because what if they vote and this person goes and does something that is against their religion, then they're going to be held accountable. As far as God is concerned, God will punish them. They can come up with all kinds of excuses. But basically what the main reason why they're doing that is that they're not familiar with the new system. So they find reasons to not vote.
There's two different types of Asians. There are bananas and there are fobs. Fob is fresh off the boat.
Or fresh off boat.
Hey, how you doing? I'm going to have a lower Honda. We're gonna have some fun, right? And there's the bananas, which is like, hey, how you doing? Did you watch Seinfeld last night?
Banana, meaning yellow on the outside and white on the inside.
Most bananas vote. Banana, voter, trust me. Fobs, I have some fob family members. They definitely don't vote. I love my mom to death, but she's a fob. She's from the old country. I don't think she cares what Barack Obama does, and she doesn't care what McCain does. She probably doesn't even know who Clinton was. She's like, hey, that lady looked like Martha Stewart. She in jail, now she's running for president. At one point, my mom and I were homeless, and like, she's like, let's see, my son is starving, or should we vote for Clinton or Bush? She's got other concerns, you know what I mean? Well, how am I gonna get off of welfare and get a job?
A lot of Asians, they tend to stay in their bubble, you know? And so they don't really know what's going on around them besides what's going on with their family and their community.
It's not like the Caucasian community or the predominantly white community is coming to the Middle Eastern community saying, could you please come over and like, you know, kind of teach us a little bit about your culture or anything like that. It's almost like everyone's okay to just stay in their own little communities.
If you look back in the early 1900s in this country, immigrants participated and voted because the parties had these political machines that would just, you know, kind of socialize and incorporate citizens. We don't have those types of systems today. The government doesn't offer citizenship classes. On the other hand, Canada does have these different types of programs that they offer immigrants. They offer these citizenship classes, funding for different immigrant groups. There's been higher rates of turnout for immigrants in Canada.
There is just a strong irony in the fact that the rest of the world has looked to America for its sense of democracy. And it's just odd that both Americans and American Asians don't vote as much as other countries. It's like we fought for this right, but we don't use it.
Somehow, some way, someday, we gon' burn this bitch down for what they didn't upgrade.
I talk to Middle Eastern Americans, and I go, did you see the pictures in Abu Ghraib? And I would tell you right now, probably 80% of them have not seen the pictures. They're like, no, it's cool, like, you know, I don't really want to get involved in that kind of stuff, and, you know, I'm not really political, and this and that. It's like, it's not about politics, it's about people are being abused and people are being hurt, and you have a voice and you should say something, or, you know, if nobody says anything, that's how this stuff keeps going.
I guess it's another privilege, you know. You could say whatever you want here and, you know, speak your mind, and you don't have to worry about being prosecuted or killed.
I think people in general are just sort of zoning out and sort of not really paying attention to what's going on. I think that's like a general, like, almost unfortunately, like an American thing that's going on.
Am I gonna vote? I don't know. At this rate, no. At the rate I'm going right now, probably not. Unless I start studying a lot on everything that's going on. Yeah, like I said, that's gonna be a lot of work.
Now that I see someone that is a minority that's out, that's nominated for the presidential candidacy, I want to be part of that, even if he doesn't win.
In 2004, I'm sure there was 100,000 other people that were like me that didn't really think they could make a difference. But guess what? If those 100,000 people are going to be voting now in 2008, we could actually make a difference.
And I think just because of that, I'll go out there and vote. But see, I shouldn't even be voting because I'm not educated on one candidate or the other, you know. But I will, though. I'll educate myself.
Somehow, some way, someday, we gon' burn this bitch down for what they didn't upgrade.